Hi, I'm Anthony.
And I'm Nicole.
And this is
Life with
Twins. So, on last week's episode, we kind of talked about what it was like immediately after a miscarriage and kind of like the physical toll that it took on your body and then
emotional toll.
Emotionally too. So this week, I think what I wanted to do is wanted to talk about what happens immediately after that, because there's a lot that goes into it, from the aspect of thinking that, you know what, we're very positive right now, even though everything happened, we'll be able to move past this, and we got pregnant. You know, it took us 6 months, so it should be much easier this time. So overall, that was kind of the mindset that I had going into it, was that things are going to be easy. It happened right away. We're not going to have any problems. You had your DNC, like it was really hard for you emotionally trying to get through it, and then
I don't think we talked too much about the DNC though.
Okay, so well, let's talk about the DNC a little bit.
It stands for dilation and curettage, and basically, they put you to sleep just like a surgery. They go through your cervix and they scrape everything out, and that's just because my body was just holding on to it, and there was no signs that I was going to pass it, and so then you're at risk for an infection and all that stuff for keeping it in longer. I remember just waking up and just crying because I had been carrying, even though it had passed, I was still carrying my baby around. And so I still felt like I had a part of it inside of me. And so then after the surgery, I woke up and I just felt so empty because the baby was gone. And so that was really hard, but it wasn't very painful for me, at least, and I didn't have like any bleeding or anything afterwards. And so your body just kind of goes into its normal cycle after that. So I was actually very thankful to have that DNC and just kind of be able to move on from there.
So it just gave you a sense of closure then? Okay.
Yeah.
And we went out and we got like a little tree.
We did. We got an orange tree that we planted, and that's we call baby Isaiah tree.
So that's in our backyard.
That's in our backyard, and that's
still
just
there,
kind of
so.
Bringing life to the baby that we lost. And we get to recognize our baby all the time.
Yeah.
So that's really nice. I really recommend that for anybody who has gone through a loss or is going through a loss. Having some sort of memory and dedication of something to that baby.
While we were trying, when we first started out, that was really interesting, was the way that you kind of felt around other people, just friends, family, in the sense of, it was almost kind of shameful that like you had the miscarriage, and I almost got the sense of you wanting to get pregnant again right away, for obviously to be pregnant, but also to like kind of like move on as fast as possible with everything that happened.
Yeah. It is sad that you kind of feel shameful after a miscarriage, because it's not your fault. There's nothing that you can do. And it's sad that we were embarrassed by it, because it's such a natural, it is such a common thing. But I think because a lot of people don't talk about it, it makes you feel that sense of like being embarrassed for like being so excited about it, but knowing that it has such a high chance of it happening.
1 in 5?
Yeah, 1 in 5 or 1 in 4, something like that. It's a very, very high chance of miscarriage, but you just don't hear about it a lot. So
that makes sense as far as why people wait till 8 weeks, 9 weeks,
more,
when they have had the heartbeat and they feel like there's a bit of safety in the pregnancy. And I think with this pregnancy, I think that was a little bit of our issue this time. We'll get back to this time, but
yeah. So I think one of the hard things with our infertility process is just kind of like all the emotions that you go through during it. I think in the beginning, I was obviously very sad that we lost the baby, but while I was sad, I was also very hopeful. I had a lot of hope in the beginning, and then after every month of trying and peeing on a stick and always saying negative, I slowly started to lose that hope, and I actually started to gain a lot of bitterness. I would look at, my friends who are pregnant, or family who is pregnant, or, Facebook posts about pregnancy, and I would just have a lot of bitterness and a lot of like resentment almost. And I knew it was just because of the season that I was in. So I tried really hard to stay positive and joyful for those who were pregnant, and try not to be so bitter. But there definitely became a time where my hope kind of faded and the bitterness kind of set in. Because I didn't really want to seek out a doctor right away after the few months that it took us to try to get pregnant. So I bought a bunch of different types of ovulation tests. I bought special lubricant. I looked into herbal supplements to take. I made sure that we were both taking vitamins. I tried eating organic for a while. And every month you overanalyze every single symptom that you have the entire month. You're like, oh my gosh, my boobs are more tender now. And oh my gosh, I'm cramping. Maybe this is implantation cramping. And you just get so much into your head with it. And you're like, I think I'm pregnant. And so you're like, I'm going to pee on a stick. And you pee on a stick and it's negative. And you're just like, oh my gosh. And so like month after month of that it really wears on you. And it really takes a toll on your mental stability almost.
I mean,
I became obsessed with, trying different things to try to get pregnant.
Yeah, and originally, like, it's fun when you're just like, oh, hey, we're going to make a family, we're going to start a family, and, like, like, this is going to be
hey, babe, you want to try to have a baby?
So
he was all about it at the beginning.
In the beginning, it's awesome. Like, who doesn't want that? But the thing was, like, after a couple of months of disappointment of it not happening, you start to feel like, number one, a failure, because it's like, what's wrong with me that it's not happening? And then number two, it becomes a you have to do it as a chore. So there's no romance in it.
Yeah.
And it's not as exciting. It's not like you're looking forward to it, because it's like, oh, I have to do this, as opposed to you're just in love and things just happen, and it's just
the spontaneity is
there's no spontaneity. It's like what's going to happen, and it's
because
just
it got so far where it was just like, well, some websites would say you don't want to do it every single day because you want to allow the sperm to like rebuild and regrow, and so it would just be like, no, we can't do it today because I need your sperm to be better for the next day.
So yes.
What? I'm just saying. This is life.
Okay.
This
true.
is infertility. Sorry, family, but
yes,
this is how infertility works.
It is.
And
it's true.
You get it down to the science, and you're just like, it has to happen, and it really does take all the romance out of it. And I think that was a real struggle
for us, like as a couple,
as a married couple.
It definitely was hard.
So we would recognize it, and so there were months where we just didn't try, and we'd be like, you know what, we need to focus on us this month. We need to go take a trip. We need to go do something. But through the process, things that would make it really hard for us, or at least for me, is other people trying to help you through it, but not really know what to say.
Yeah.
And so
saying the wrong things sometimes.
Sometimes people would say things that would really just bother me, and instead of making me feel encouraged, it left me feeling like annoyed. People would say things like, oh, just relax, or just stop trying, it'll happen when it's meant to happen, things like that. And it's just like, well, why is it meant to happen right now? Or, like, we've done months of not trying and it's not helping, and we really want to have a baby. Like, we lost our baby, we really want to have another one, we're really ready to be a family. So it's really hard to relax. So
that was hard originally, but
those really kind of hurt after a while, because I feel like that's all people would say. Every single person that I walked into that were just like, trying to help us get through this infertility process, every time they would tell me just relax. And it's like I don't think just relaxing is going to help me have a baby. I think there's a little bit more to that.
But so let's be positive then. What are some things that you wish people would have said as opposed to that for what they were saying?
Things that people did say to me that really made me feel better is just recognizing the fact that what we're going through is hard. And so giving us words of encouragement and just being like, I'm sorry that you have to go through this. But we're going to pray for you. We're not going to stop praying for you. And I think that really kind of
just having validation that like what you're going through, you're not alone.
It's a struggle. It is hard. And even if you don't know what it's like to go through that, just trying to step into someone's shoes and imagine how hard it is month after month not being able to get pregnant, watching everybody else get pregnant and have families and start families, and seeing, that would be so hard for someone to have to go through. And so just recognizing that what they're going through is a struggle. And
I think the other thing is that I think it maybe minimized what you were going through a little bit to being like, just relax. It'll happen. That's all. That's the only problem wrong with you is that you're not relaxing. So it minimizes what you're going through a bit. And it does. By them doing this, because it wasn't always like it. There were some people that were encouraging and everyone was trying to help. And we understand that it was always coming from a place of encouragement.
Everybody had good intentions.
It's just when people are going through that, I guess one of the better things to say instead is, we're encouraging you, we're thinking about you, we're praying about you. I think that maybe is just a better response to people who, if you know somebody that's going through it, that might help a little bit more than just relax. So I think that's the way to do it. But eventually we did get to the point after a year of trying to where we started to go see a doctor. And I think that's something that I want to talk about in the next episode is the IUIs that we had that led up to the in vitro. And I think we should talk about that in the next episode, about the process of that, how many times we had done it, and stuff like that. So, but before we go, I definitely want to make sure to say thank you guys for...
Yes. I'm so overwhelmed by all the love and support that we have gotten this week. It is absolutely amazing. I honestly had no idea how many people were in the background rooting for us, and to see how many people who are just so excited about us getting pregnant, it just makes my eyes water.
We're going to give you guys a bunch of love in the next video. We're going to do an update video for midway through the week. So we're going to give you guys so much love. So make sure to tune into that one. But until then, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our videos. Coming out with a new one every week. One on Monday, and then we're going to try to get a second one in sometime in the week to give you updates about where she's currently at. So
thank you guys.
Thank you guys. See you next time.
Bye.
Remember looking at the camera.
Ready? Look in the camera.
3, 2, and... Okay.
You start.
All right. Okay.
Didn't we run through that?
Yes, we did. Okay, you ready? Stop.
I'm going to not say twins.
Pregnancy burps. I'm Anthony.
Wait, what are you doing?
2, 1.
I'm sorry. I think I'm so funny.
You think you're so funny?
Because I'm not going to say twins.
Your practical joke? You can't even hold it in, Nicole. Hi, I'm Anthony.
Okay, just give me a second. I think I'm really tired.
We're never going to get through this episode.
Okay, hold on.
It's been 2 minutes of you laughing. Hi, I'm Anthony,
And I'm Nicole.
and this is
Life with
Twins.
I love you.